What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. And I'm going to go over a report here from Loudoun County, reported by Amna. She's a journalist in Virginia. So I'm going to start off with this thread, and then I'm going to get into Jemele Hill and how she represents an algorithm of hate. I'm at Loudoun County School Board meeting, packed room. A debate over critical race theory in schools has divided this community in recent weeks. Tonight, for the first time in the pandemic, the public was allowed back into these meetings. That is the stage that is being set. I am not going to be arguing for or against critical race theory in this video. That's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to see what's happening in our country, and I want to give tangible proof or a tangible example of what I mean by when I have the American flag in my profile, and I don't want you to be triggered by it. I want you to understand what it means. I don't want you to assume something by it, like many people are doing right now. I want you to ask me or listen to my explanation. It means to me love for fellow citizen in our country. This is just unconditional love for fellow citizen. Doesn't mean you support or agree with everything. So we see this, and the room is packed. This is the first time people could come out and talk about this since the pandemic. It's packed. That means something. Let's go a little bit more and find out what's happening. Protesters started gathering outside long before the meeting began. Again, this is in Virginia. Parents who oppose the district's equity efforts as they've been rolled out are organizing to oust school board members. So they've already got heated. So you see where the damage of this pandemic has really hurt us. It's like you're in a relationship and you've got something bothering you and you can't even talk about it because they couldn't even go to the meetings. There were like 10 people or 2 people at these other meetings when there's really hundreds of people with concerns that didn't get a chance to air them out other than maybe Twitter or to their friends or whatever. And some of them scared to even air it out because they could be ostracized. There are so many ramifications of lockdowns and these protocols that have happened to our country that has to be taken into account for the next time, because this is going to happen again. Masks are required inside, and the room was swept for security. This is how heated this is. Before the meeting, armed security are posted at the entrances and inside the meeting room. Fair to say, tensions are high. Amna, great reporting on Twitter. She's just reporting what's happening. Great reporting. One of the school board members just said 121 members of the public signed up to speak tonight because we haven't had a chance to say. And then you sit down with your partner or your friend or whoever, and that 120 members means like, was there anything wrong? Was there anything in your mind? And you've got like 100 things going on in your head. One parent opposing critical race theory in schools tells board members, just teach children without your political agenda. Says teaching kids about systemic racism divides them. For the record, the superintendent says critical race theory is not taught in schools. Again, I'm not arguing pro and con with critical race theory. I want to see what's happening here and how do we show love for our fellow citizen. Couldn't even get through the first 30 minutes of comments without yelling, interrupting, clapping, and boos.
Face us.
School board members just adjourned, which I don't blame them, so the room can find its decorum. I understand we're angry, but we can't have a conversation if we're just yelling and booing. And I know it's pent up. That's how fights happen in relationships. It's a lot of times it's pent up, and I just got to let it out. I'm yelling, I'm arguing, and nothing comes from that. Nothing good. Board is back. Comments continue, parent after parent, and some former parents saying trust has been broken. This is that faith topic I've been talking about in these videos. lack of faith in the dollar, in police, in the media, in politicians, in now the school curriculum. That is all our country is. That's what that flag means, is faith in our fellow citizen. That we might disagree, but we're in the same country. We're going to figure it out. That faith is gone. I'm going to repeat that. Trust has been broken. That is the most important thing here, not critical race theory. It's that trust has been broken, that one side's agenda is being imposed on the other. Not that that's factual or not. One of the biggest things I had to learn in relationships, and I struggled with that, because I always looked up to my father, and he's not a big emotional person. My mom's not really even a big emotional person. I never really was truly in touch with my emotions, so it hampered me in relationships. And that's not blaming my parents. My parents are fine. There's no one's going to have a perfect, well-rounded upbringing with no personality flaws. But I was more like Data from Star Trek, a robot almost, not understanding that emotions aren't facts. So this isn't about the facts of critical race theory should be in there or shouldn't, or if it's factually right or wrong, if it's political or opinion or what. The emotions are real, and that has to be dealt with. And I'm going to get to how Jemele Hill deals with it, and that's got me angry. Jemele Hill is she represents, I'm stuck in the middle, but when you do stuff like what Jemele Hill is doing, we aren't cool. We're not friends. We are enemies. That doesn't mean, that's not in a violent way. That's in a discussion and battle of ideas. And same with Mark Lamont Hill, who asked the stupidest question about what do you enjoy about being white. You guys are not my friends, and I've got to speak out against this. One parent says she's very worried about what she's seeing in schools, training our children to be social justice warriors and to hate our country. Parents repeatedly calling for better communication and transparency. There's another one to focus on. Faith. How often does that come up in relationships? That's what this country is a big ass relationship. That's all it is. Forget about DC. Forget about anything else. All this country is a relationship between the citizens within its borders. That's it. That's all it is. And they're asking for better communication and transparency from the school board. One parent, I will fight to the bitter end if you teach my children that they are racist just because they are white. Another mom, self-identifies as Christian, says she leads with love and does not see skin color. To school board, know this: we will not yield. We will not let you have the souls of our children. A former teacher at the podium says educators should be neutral. Says teachers are being forced to teach progressive values, including equity, and she feels her First Amendment rights are being violated. And what are our politicians doing? This is more important than anything else going on in our country right now. The faith and bringing it together. We have no leaders out there. We have to take control of this. It's not fair that the far left teachers can express their views, but conservative teachers like myself get bullied and retaliated against. A teacher from a neighboring district speaking now. That's not even a parent. Well, she might be a parent, but she's also a teacher. It doesn't matter. I'm not arguing the critical race theory thing. This is the perception. So my first thought is, when I see that room of everybody in there, my first thought is, whatever brought them in that room has to stop immediately. I don't know if it's critical race theory. I'm not an expert in the Loudon School District. I'll have to dig into that. I don't know if I'll have time to, but that's not relevant to this discussion. If you're doing something in schools that's bringing out that many parents angry, yelling, booing because they have that much pent-up emotion, we got to stop it. That's not good. Unless your goal of the curriculum is to do this. I don't know if that's the case, but I hope it's not. I'm going to assume it's not. It has to stop. Whatever is bringing them out there like this, the first thing that I would say if I stepped in front of those parents, the fact that we have 121 of you angry at this right now, it tells me enough to know we're going to cease the program. We have to increase transparency. We have to talk about it. We have to build that bridge with the community. If you all aren't sold on it, then it can't. There's a lot of other things we can teach. This is top priority. Let's work this out. And that will calm down the booing and yelling. That's what leadership sounds like. And I'm not saying I'm the one. That's kind of what I want to hear. People who are more natural leaders that come up and say, you've just being here, you've spoken. Stop. It's done. At least it's on hold until we can figure this out. And then in steps Jemele Hill. Jemele Hill, I attended the University of Michigan, and Jemele Hill was Michigan State, and she is one of the finest. Well, back then, she's trash now, but back then she was one of the finest journalists I've ever read. Writers. I compare her in a way, not in style, but in the ability, the talent that you see Jason Whitlock has, and he just got to deal with Blaze. Congratulations to Jason Whitlock. She had that same talent. Same talent as Jason Whitlock. Like, to me, like GOAT stuff as far as a writer. And believe it or not, she came up in sports. She always talked about sports. And believe it or not, she talked about sports as a unifying vessel for our country. She wrote about that a lot. Sports is where you can go, you can forget about things, you can trash talk, you can sit next to your fellow citizen. Yes, she did. Believe it or not. Now, we all change. That was a long time ago. I'm not going to date myself or her, but I'm 43. The turning point in her career, because I listened to her on the His and Her podcast with Michael Smith, legendary podcast. One of my favorite podcasts of all time. If I was on a road trip, I would download as many episodes of that. They would just be chilling and talking. It was so good. And then it got them to the Sports Center 6. And I was happy for him. Everything changed when she tweeted Donald Trump was a white supremacist. And that was before you heard white supremacists like in every topic. Now it doesn't even, white supremacist is like the sky is blue. Like, okay, whatever. It means literally nothing now. But back then it still had a little bit of meaning. That was when racist was translating. So she didn't call Donald Trump a racist because the word racist is long gone, doesn't mean anything anymore. So that's when they started transitioning to white supremacists to make it stronger. You have to keep upping the ante because the words don't mean anything when you overuse them. She did that tweet and she blew up. And she had beef with ESPN, Disney, because they didn't let Michael Smith and her control her show. They had too much control over it. And Jemele Hill and Michael Smith, they're not ones to really, like Jason Whitlock as well. They're not ones to work for somebody. It's not going to work. Just like I knew Jason Whitlock wasn't going to work with Outkick. Unless Jason Whitlock has a 50% or maybe even 51% share, I don't even know if 50-50 will work for him. Same with Jemele Hill and Michael Smith. If they don't own their own thing and run their own show, they're done. They're not, they're alphas. They're not direction takers. They think they know everything, not taking feedback from people. More Jemele Hill than Michael Smith even. That was the moment. When that tweet went viral, Jemele Hill found her calling. She found the algorithm of hate. Because that tweet went viral on both ways in a partisan way. But then she had a lot of people, celebrities, reach out to her and say, yeah, Trump is a white supremacist. Great. You're so courageous to say that. And that boosted her up. And she found her lane. She found her out. Got paid off that contract of SportsCenter. Great. But then she was like, now I know what I'm going to transition into. And this is all she does. She's in this vortex, this algorithm. When I mean algorithm is on Twitter. And I don't follow her anywhere else. On Twitter, at least. And she just posts hate after hate after hate. I just laid out to you the Loudon County School Board meeting issue. And here's her takeaway. This is where we are now. There's no way any of these people know what CRT is, and it's not usually taught at this level anyway. So that tweet is bizarre because she doesn't even know what's happening in London County. I don't either. That's why I'm not talking about it. But her takeaway from all those people, because when you look at the room, it's mostly white. Jemele Hill saw this as an opportunity to hate. People don't like this whataboutism because it forces them to balance out their hypocrisy. Obviously, if that was a room of black people, Jemele Hill would never post that, no matter what they were in the room for. She would never post a tweet like that. This is really disgusting stuff. And Jemele Hill should be ashamed of herself. This is where we are now. There's no way any of these people know what CRT is. Well, why don't you tell us, Jemele? See, that's not even the issue. The issue is they don't trust the school board. They don't trust the curriculum. And we have to address that. You heard the tweet. It's not transparent. We don't know what's happening. And even if you believe in CRT, Jemele, and even if it's the best thing in the world, the greatest theory ever created to help our youth, if it's creating that type of backlash, and if you actually love fellow citizen, wouldn't you say, let's put a hold on it until we can communicate it, until we can get people on board with it? Whatever it is, whether it's called CRT, whatever is making them upset, let's figure out the transparency, what needs to be there. Jemele Hill had nothing in that tweet, and I really think we are becoming at one with the algorithm. And I'm feeling it too from doing uploads on YouTube. I couldn't care less how many views any of the videos get. Couldn't care less. I do put tags and stuff in it just to make sure it doesn't get lost in the fray. But damn the algorithm, I don't care. The algorithm does not like someone who is on both sides. The algorithm's looking for you to be an expert in something, whether it's repairing bicycles or video games or libertarianism or hate. I'm not friendly to the algorithm because at one time I can criticize Kamala Harris, and then the next video I can draw the line where I'm not okay with other countries disrespecting our vice president. Where do you fit that in the algorithm? She is at one with the algorithm. She is the one that is feeding a lot of this hate. She is one of the most prominent ones out there. And it's getting her promotion. It's getting her appearances on TV because she's an expert in this hate. Why didn't Jemele Hill ask, how can we better communicate CRT? That wouldn't go viral. That wouldn't get 1,700 likes. If Jemele Hill posted, we need to communicate whatever this is better so people understand it's not negative, it's not political, it's not CRT. Here's what it is. It probably wouldn't have gotten a tenth of the likes. I guarantee you it wouldn't have got many likes, not that many. So we're a slave to the algorithm. We know what it is. I think subconsciously there's a symbiotic relationship now between us and the algorithm. These algorithms must be public. I don't know what Twitter's doing here. Twitter could have an agenda and say, yeah, we agree with her and we're promoting it. No one knows. And this is causing real life problems. The algorithms have to be public. These things cannot be private. We need to know what they're doing behind the scenes because it's showing up in our country and dividing us. This isn't on Twitter. This is real life. This isn't on YouTube. I just had to get that off my chest. I'm going to end with this. I want honesty. When we're going to be in that relationship, we're going to have this discussion. I want full honesty. Put everything on the table, and then we'll kind of tear it down, and then see if we can build it back up. If you don't like our country, Jemele, say it. Say it. I hate America. Say I hate white people, or I hate white people who don't agree with me. And you're not showing courage. You said Trump was a white supremacist. Your beliefs are much larger than that. I'm going to challenge you to tell me how you really feel. Remember when Colin Kaepernick kneeled for the anthem, and I'm strongly against it. The first video I ever uploaded to this channel was about that. Kneeling during the national anthem. I have a big problem with it. But remember, they always told us, it's not about the anthem. They didn't say we love the country, but they said, oh no, it's not about the anthem. Yeah, it is. Just say it. We heard the discussion about the flag triggering people. If the flag triggers you, then it's about the flag. You have concerns about the country. If you don't like our country, just say so. Say it. So we can break it down and maybe build it back up. Take care.
Tens of thousands on my right, thousands by my side. War between good and evil, watching our fists collide. Battle for our freedom now, to the streets we ride. Flags waving all around, pages full of pride. This is where we make a stand, no more give or take. March around the Capitol, storm the city gates. Putting pressure on their necks until the truth breaks. All walls of corruption, take out all the snakes. Star Spangled Banner, got it playing loud and proud. People from all walks of life filling up the crowd. Defend the Constitution, many warriors survive. Casting down any among us who have bucked and cowed. Enough with tyranny, we come to take our country back. For all citizens, white, red, brown, or black. Return her to a form of glory, fix the bloody crack on the crown. Fetch it down, it's going down.
My mama told me, yeah, she warned me that this day would come. I'm like my father, go to combat with the blazing guns. I survived that, then I came back to the place I'm from to face off all these haters and the battle in the place I love. You can't break me down, I'm indivisible. You still see my raps if I was invisible. But I'm standing tall, and I spit the truth. So you all appalled, cause you know it's true. They call it freedom cause the fallen troops pay for this. I love this country, doesn't matter how much hate I get. I take my colors in the battle, ain't no wavering. Cause this is for my warriors who marching to the cadences. This is for the sisters working hard on the ship. This is for the brothers getting y'all doctorate. Father, yeah, taking y'all on the ship. Baby, tell me why it's hard for the patriot.
Tens of thousands on my right, thousands by my side. War between good and evil, watching our fists collide. Battle for our freedom now, to the streets we ride. Flags waving all around, pages full of pride. This is where we make a stand, no more give or take. March around the Capitol, storm the city gates. Putting pressure on their necks until the truth breaks. All walls of corruption, take out all the snakes. Star Spangled